If you're looking for a simple way to analyze the US30 market, well, you are in the right place because in this video, I'm going to give you a full breakdown on how I analyze this market, what my entries, my exits, my profit targets will be based on very simple analysis that does not use any indicators or anything confusing. So let's go ahead and jump right into this market. Currently, we are on the weekly time frame, and as you can see, price has been mostly bullish for these past few weeks. And with this particular week ending, we do see the bullish momentum slowing a little bit. So there has a potential to be a pullback, but we don't fully know. So that's why we're going to map out our zones so that way we can get a sense of what price could potentially do and then talk about that plan. So let's get rid of this and let me make this a little bit bigger so that way we can all see it. So the first thing I want to draw out on this particular market is I want to mark off this level at 42,624, really close to 25, mainly because this is the highest high that this market has made so far. And there is potential for it to go higher, but right now this is the highest point. So we just want to go ahead and mark that off. So the next level I want to mark off is this old resistance here, right at 41,567. And the next level that I am going to mark off, which this is a really far movement if price does come down here, but I do want to mark it off. And this is going to be at 40,200 and roughly 20. So now let's go down to the daily time frame to see if we can make some sense of these zones that we just drew. Basically, what we're doing here is we're looking for zones that we can trade from that are going to give us a really nice risk to reward. I am seeing another level here on the daily time frame that I want to mark off, and this level is at 41,870, a nice round number. Now, as we go down to lower time frames, we will make slight adjustments to these zones as we can see more price data at that time. But for right now, this is looking really good, and I marked off this level mainly because there's a nice support here, really healthy support actually, and then from here, price did push up and create a new all-time high. Now, one thing that I am noticing at this all-time high is I do want to push it up a little bit, at least this level, mainly because I want the candle, the wick of the candle to touch this level perfectly. So now that it is, now I'm good. So the other thing that I see here is I do see a bit of a gap between this candle and this candle. And what I'm talking about here is when this candle closed, remember we're on the daily time frame. When this candle closed, it closed right here where my cursor is at $41,529 and or points and 90 cents. Roughly these are dollars. But anyway, stopped right here. And then what price did on the second candle is it started right here at 41,576 and 17 cents or points. And basically there's a gap between these two candles. So it makes it a little bit trickier to mark off our levels, especially here on the daily time frame. But for right now, I'm going to mark it off here at 41,571.97. And it doesn't have to be exact, and it's not going to look the same, mainly because right now I'm using this black bull chart. You may be using somebody else's chart, and the numbers may vary slightly, and the candles may look slightly different. So just kind of keep the price in your mind as you draw out these zones, because that's going to be the most important thing. Price, not candles. I like the way that this level looks. And going down to this zone right here, it is a bit messy. So let's try to make some kind of sense of it. So one thing I want to do is mark off a level. Yes, a level around 40,734, mainly because I will tell you in a second after I get this drawn. So I do see a support right here in the past, and then more recent, I do see a couple of things. The first thing I see is this support with another gap down here, and then I also see a resistance that formed, and then I see another support. Even though we have this really big wick here on this candle, this is still a support. And I like to draw my zones mostly at the body, but sometimes at the wicks. It just kind of depends. So in this situation, I'm going to draw it at the body, mainly because price came all the way down here and then it closed up here. And then from this area, price pushed all the way up here. So this is pretty much a launching point for price as it moved bullish. So I definitely want to mark that off. And as I go down to lower time frames, I'm going to adjust these levels a bit so that way it's more clear as to what price actually did in this zone. And I did say that I'm not going to draw any other levels below here just because this would be a really far drop. A really significant event in the market would have to happen for it to come all the way down here. So just for 1 week, I don't anticipate it coming down here. But of course, let's go down to the H4 time frame and refine our zones a bit. Let me make this a little bigger so that way it's easy for all to see, including myself. And let me scoot it in. All right. So we still have this level up here, still looking great. We have the support, and now I'm looking in more detail, and I really do like this level that I drew. And then looking at this level here, if I scoot over to the left, we do see some resistance zones right in here. We do see some support in here, and then we also see a bit of overlap or overhang in terms of the zone right here. So this was that tricky area with the gap. So what I actually want to do is, now that I have more data, is I do want to move this down to 41,476, really close to 475, which makes me feel a lot better because I really like round-ish numbers inside of the market. Okay, now that that's looking good, going down to this level here, if I'm looking left, I do see this support. I do see some consolidation in here. And I do see some sort of fake out right here. So looking at most recent price action, what I want to do is actually move this level down. And this is now sitting around 40,700 flat. Perfect number. I like that. So we're going to keep that. And then let me just check here. This is still looking good to me. This is sitting at 40,000, roughly 210 kind of zone, but let's go down to H2 and see if we could refine these levels even more. So one thing I'm seeing, and I do want to draw another zone, I do see a lot of rejections kind of in this zone. We can see it here, here, and here. So I do want to pretty much find the line of best fit, and let's just say it's right here around 42,200 and let's say 30. And I want to have the zone mainly because price, even though the market is open for another 30 something seconds, I want to have this level drawn off. And then I do believe that maybe on the H1 time frame, I will refine a little bit. But for right now, this is looking good. And I do see a couple of things in here, but we'll talk about that a bit more when we go to the game plan for this upcoming week. So, and that'll include my entries, my exits, my profit targets. And here at this level, so this level's looking good. That's why I skipped over it. And then this level right here, I do want to make a minor adjustment, just moving it down just a little bit. So we are now at 41,470, 71, and that looks good. So let's go down here. All right, got more details, still looking great. Now this right here, let me see if I want to move this level closer to the body. So this is now at 40,230. Perfect. So this is looking amazing. Let's go to H1. So now that we got more data in the zone, before when we looked on the H2 time frame, all of this was wick. And now we see actual candles that have formed here. So when it comes to this level, this is still looking good to me because we got all these rejections. We do have this kind of fake out and then price went down. This is probably some sort of news event based on the way this candle looks right here. So anyway, that's still looking good. This level is still looking good. This looks good. We do have quite a few wicks on this particular market. This is a really big zone here. So one thing that I am seeing, let me go back to where I was. Okay. So I was in this zone right here. So kind of like the other zone, I think I do want to make another zone right around 41,735. So let's go ahead and do that. And the reasoning for this is because One, this is a really big zone. So the goal of this is to make zones that we can trade from. And trading from this really big zone to this really big zone can be quite problematic inside of a live market. So I like to have slightly smaller zones that I can trade from. This is looking good. So we got rejection here. We got a bit of an overhang and some rejection, but we have a nice little support right here. And from this level, price did push up quite a bit. So this level is 41,700 and roughly 30. So that's looking good now. Now we have this other zone that we drew still at 41,400 and roughly 70, still looking good. So now we're getting into the point of the video where we talk about my game plan for the upcoming week. And before we do this, I want to make you aware of our trading community called the Profitable Traders Academy. And you can find that at profitabletradersacademy.com. Yesterday we had a call. There were so many great questions. I delivered so many great answers, and everyone just can get so much value from these calls. These are live calls where you can ask me questions about your specific trading needs and some of the questions that you may have just about the market in general. And then outside of the calls, you do get the opportunity to ask me questions inside of the community where it's literally me answering those questions for you. And as the community grows, people from the community will chime in as well. So go ahead and check out our trading membership. If you're very serious about trading, go ahead and check it. The link will be in the description box below. Okay, so now we're at the point where we talk about our game plan. And one of the things that I'm seeing immediately is this level right here at, let's see, what is this? This is 42,300 and roughly 74, 75, mainly because we have a resistance here, and from here price fell. It didn't quite break this level, but now that the market's closed, we can see that it got really, really close. So this market has been quite bullish for at least the past few weeks, and we saw that on the weekly time frame. So my bias on this market is mostly buys, but of course there will be opportunities to take shorts inside of this market if that is part of your game plan. And for me, it just kind of depends on what I see inside of the market, if I wanted to take that risk or not. But right now we're at this point where price has pushed up above this level, made an all-time high, and now it's retracing a little bit. So there could be another opportunity for buys, which is why I wanted to mark off this level. And then of course I am looking for buys as long as price is above this level right here. So let's go ahead and see how much range we have on this. Okay, 144. That's more than enough points for me. And based on my trading plan, if it's enough for you, then this could be an opportunity for you to potentially take inside of the market. That's definitely something that I'm looking at. And then another thing, if price comes up above this level, I would want to take it roughly to about where the all-time highs were, not all the way up here. Unless there's a lot of volume and there's some sort of bullish catalyst inside of the market, then it may not reach to here, but there's a higher probability of price coming to this point at 42,540. And the fact that it is nice, round, psychological number, I like it even more. And of course, this is 165 points, which is really, really nice as far as a range on US30. So the next thing that I see here is I do see this consolidation area right through here. So I want to draw a level. I said that there are opportunities, potential opportunities inside of the markets for a short, and I wouldn't want to short really anything unless it's below this level right here, because as you see, price came to this level, bounced up. This closed up above here. This rejected. Look how deep it came into this before it rejected. Reject. And then this is kind of, it's not really touching this level, but this is a really big rejection. And then price pushed up. And look at all of this. So it consolidated quite a while in the zone. So for me, this is going to be a no trade zone. I want price to clear this before I even consider taking a short trade here. And once again, price right here, it bounced off of this level. So I would actually be interested in a buy from here to here, and that's 203 points, more than enough. I forgot to draw this short area. If I wanted to short, the same, makes sense. And let me put this buy arrow right here, because this is a zone that I would want to buy from 41,876. And pretty much looking at how strong this level is, if price was to break this level, this could be a market shift, mainly because we have 1, 2, 3 really strong bounces from this zone. And if it breaks and closes below this level, then the market may be shifting to be more bearish. So I'm going to draw an arrow below here, and then I'm going to extend this line. And then once again, the idea would be to take shorts from, let me do it right here, from here. And then kind of the same idea here. If we had enough volume, price could come all the way down here. But just like before, 1, 2, 3, 4, all this right here, price could potentially buy up from here. So as you can see, there are a number of different scenarios. Of course, we have to wait for price and to see what actually plays out inside of the market. But this is essentially what I would be looking for inside of the market. And I forgot to say here, let me draw these arrows from here to here. On the upside, I would be looking for the same thing. Basically the same move, but in the opposite direction. So like that. And then let me draw my up arrow right. Let's just draw it like right here. Okay, great. So this is what I would be looking for on US30. If you found a lot of value in this, please let me know in the comment section below, because I only want to make videos that you actually get value from. And if you could also tell me what were some of your key takeaways when looking at this video, that will give me a signal to do more of those things in the future. I'll see you next week.